Have you ever noticed how slowly a summer seemed to pass when you were a child? A single school year felt almost endless, and the weeks before a birthday appeared to stretch forever. But as the years go by, time seems to accelerate. Months disappear, birthdays return surprisingly quickly, and events that feel recent may already have happened several years ago. The clocks have not changed, of course. A minute still contains 60 seconds, no matter how old we are. What changes is the way our brain experiences, records, and remembers the passing of time. Time perception is not controlled by a single internal clock. Instead, the brain estimates time using attention, memory, emotion, physical sensations, and the number of events happening around us. This is why the same hour can feel completely different depending on the situation. An hour spent waiting in an empty room may feel extremely long, while an hour with friends can seem to disappear almost instantly. One possible explanation for the apparent acceleration of life is sometimes called the proportional theory. It suggests that every new year represents a smaller fraction of the life we have already experienced. For a 5-year-old child, 1 year is equal to 1/5 of their entire life. For a 50-year-old adult, 1 year represents only 1/50th of everything they have experienced so far. From this perspective, a year may feel smaller because it is being compared with a much larger collection of memories. It becomes one short chapter inside an increasingly long personal history. But proportions are probably only part of the explanation. Another important factor is the way childhood is filled with new experiences. Children are constantly encountering things for the first time. Their first day at school, their first holiday, new friendships, unfamiliar places, changing abilities, and countless discoveries all demand attention. When something is new, the brain must examine it carefully. It records unfamiliar sights, sounds, emotions, and details because it cannot rely on existing routines or expectations. This creates what can be described as dense memories. A period containing many new events leaves behind a large number of mental landmarks, making that period seem longer when we look back on it. Adult life often contains fewer completely new experiences. We travel along familiar roads, perform repeated tasks, follow established routines, and spend time in environments that the brain already understands. Because these situations are predictable, the brain does not need to record every detail. Repeated days can be processed almost automatically and later stored as a more general memory. Imagine driving the same route to work hundreds of times. You may remember certain journeys involving heavy snow, a road closure, or an unusual event, but most ordinary journeys blend together. The same thing can happen to entire weeks or months. When little changes, the brain may compress repeated experiences into a simple impression rather than preserving each day as a separate memory. This helps explain a strange contradiction in time perception. A routine day may feel slow while it is happening, especially if we are bored, but it can seem extremely short when we remember it later. A holiday filled with exploration may feel fast in the moment because our attention is occupied. Yet when we look back, the many locations, activities, and emotions can make the holiday appear much longer. Psychologists sometimes distinguish between experiencing time in the present and judging time in retrospect. These two forms of time perception do not always produce the same result. During an event, we often judge time by how much attention we are paying to it. When we repeatedly check the clock, each minute becomes noticeable, and time appears to slow down. When our attention is fully absorbed by a conversation, a film, a creative project, or an exciting activity, we monitor the clock less closely. Time can then seem to pass very quickly. Retrospective time works differently. When looking back, we estimate the length of a period partly by the number of memories and changes we can retrieve from it. A month filled with new places and unusual experiences may leave many distinct memories. A month dominated by repetitive routines may leave only a few memorable reference points. This does not mean that older people are incapable of experiencing slow or detailed time. The apparent acceleration is not an unavoidable mechanical consequence of aging. Lifestyle plays an important role. New activities, learning, travel, social encounters, creative challenges, and changes in routine can all produce stronger and more varied memories. Even small changes can make ordinary days more distinctive. Taking a different route, visiting a new location, learning a skill, or paying closer attention to familiar surroundings can create additional mental landmarks. Attention itself may also influence how rich our memories become. When we move through life distracted or focused entirely on future tasks, many details of the present moment may never be stored clearly. Modern life can intensify this effect. Notifications, schedules, deadlines, and constant streams of information divide our attention into small fragments. We may feel busy throughout the day, yet remember very little of it. Activity alone does not necessarily create meaningful memories if most experiences are processed only superficially. Emotion can also alter the perception of time. Fear, stress, excitement, and anticipation can make certain moments feel longer because the brain becomes unusually alert. During a frightening event, people sometimes report that time appeared to slow down. The brain is not truly increasing the number of seconds, but heightened attention can create a more detailed experience of the moment. Other factors, including sleep, health, mood, and changes in brain function, may also influence time perception. There is no single formula that explains exactly how every person experiences aging. The idea that time moves faster as we grow older is therefore not simply about clocks or calendars. It is connected to how much attention we give to life and how clearly our experiences are stored in memory. Childhood feels long partly because so much of the world is unfamiliar. Almost every year brings new abilities, new environments, and important transitions. Adulthood can feel shorter because routines become more common and years begin to resemble one another. When fewer moments stand apart, memory compresses the space between them. We cannot make a year contain more days. But we may be able to make those days feel richer by introducing novelty, breaking repetitive patterns, and becoming more aware of what is happening around us. Perhaps the feeling that time is accelerating is also a reminder. The more familiar life becomes, the more deliberately we may need to notice it. Because time does not truly speed up as we grow older. But unless we continue creating new memories, it may increasingly seem as though it does. If you enjoyed this journey through the mysteries of the human mind, subscribe to Wonder Atlas World and discover more remarkable questions about ourselves and the world around us. Until the next wonder.